up YouTube? Today I'm going to show you how to remove and replace your passenger side CV axle on this 2004 Volkswagen Passat. This car is an all-wheel drive and it has the 1.8 liter 4-cylinder turbo engine. Okay, before we go any further, it's very important to apply your emergency parking brakes and also make sure the car is either in park if it's an automatic or in gear if it's a manual.
Also very important, you block both your rear wheels.
Okay, what we're going to do next is just to get a small screwdriver or a small pick and then remove the center cap. There we go. Okay, what we're going to do next is get a 17mm Torx bit socket and then put this over our axle nut and then get our pry bar, put it over that, and then what I'm going to do next is get a long piece of pipe, put it over my pry bar, and then that's going to give us more torque and then we can get this axle nut loose. Alright, here we go. Alright, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Alright, it's loose. Okay, now with that axle nut loose, now we can raise and support this side, okay? Next, we're going to loosen our lug nuts and get this wheel off. And if you don't have an air gun, make sure you loosen these lug nuts while the wheel is sitting on the ground, okay? Okay, here's a look at our CV axle. And these axles, they don't have a spline on this transmission side. Normally CV axles have splines on both sides, and it latches, it connects to it goes into the transmission. But on this car, this is only attached to the transmission by these bolts around the circumference of the CV axle. So we're gonna need to remove those bolts. But first, we're gonna remove this shield, get this out of the way, because I have a feeling we can remove those bolts around the circumference, then slide this up and away to the left, and then get the front spline out of the hub, and then remove this CV axle that way. If we can do that, we're gonna save us a lot of headache, okay? Okay, there are 3 bolts that are holding this shield in, and it's gonna require a 6mm Hicks bit socket. And when you put this on, you wanna make sure you push it in all the way, because dirt and debris gets in between in the holes for the socket for the bolts. And then if your socket is not seating properly all the way in, you're gonna strip the inside of the bolt, and then you're gonna have a hell of a time trying to get that bolt loose. So make sure you push it in all the way. Okay, and if you have some brake clean, just go ahead and spray the bolts down. It's gonna help get the debris out from the inside of them. Therefore, your socket can sit in all the way. There we go. There we go. Third and last. And here's the shield. Okay, next it's time to get these bolts off, and for these you'll need a 10mm triple square bit, and these are available at almost any auto parts store. These are the standard size. I think they have them from 6mm to 10 or 12 or something, but yeah, that's what you're gonna need. And for this one, we also need a 13mm socket. You put it over it, and then again, make sure when you put this in, it's seated all the way, and all the teeth are engaged inside the bolts, okay? They seem to be in pretty good. There we go. Also, if you have a hard time accessing some of them, you can always just put the car in neutral temporarily and then rotate these shafts to get more access to one or more of these bolts. Okay, so after removing all the bolts, we're going to detach this from the transmission side. Now this is on there, this is the original CV axle, and it's on there pretty tight. Some rust has settled in, so we're just going to get a small hammer and try to hit it to get it to get loose, okay? There we go. Now with this loose, we're just going to push it up and to the back. Okay, now onto the front. Before we can completely remove this bolt, we want to make sure you can press on it and that the CB joint here is not stuck. If it's stuck, you want to spray some PB Blaster in here, hit this with a hammer, make sure it's in most of the way, and then you try it again, try pushing it in, and you'll get it loose eventually. Just PB blaster, hit it with the hammer, PB blaster, hit it with the hammer. It will eventually break loose. And then you remove this bolt. Okay, you know what? We need to turn this all the way to the left. That way we'll have more space open up here, and we can get this axle out without removing anything else. Okay? Actually, I'm just gonna turn the steering wheel. Okay, now with the steering wheel turned all the way to the left, we should have enough space to push this through. There we go. Almost there. Hooray. All right, here we go. Out, free and clear. Okay, and here's a look at our CV axle. These joints were clicking, that's why I'm replacing these. As you can see, the boots are still in decent shape, but the joints are clicking, so it's time to replace them. What you want to do next is just take it to your local auto parts store, and when you get the other part, there's a core charge for the new part, $40 at AutoZone. That's why you need to take it to the local auto parts store. But when you get the new one, make sure you take it out of the box, put it next to this, and make sure everything matches. The length, those rings up front for your ABS sensor, and everything is a set. Okay? Okay, so just got back from the store, got ourselves our new CV joint. Now we're just gonna throw this back on here. Basically, installation is just gonna be a reversal of removal. You just put this side in first. Make sure you get it to the side. Then we're gonna put the side with the splines into the hub first. Then we'll line up the other side. Okay? There we go. There's this side. Just line this up with the bolt holes that go onto the flange, and we start putting those bolts in. Okay, and these bolts that go onto the flange, you probably want to put a couple of drops of blue Loctite on these, because you never want these to come loose. Okay? And that's also probably why they were so hard to take off. And you want to run these by hand just so you're sure you're not cross-threading them. And also you want to go in a crisscross pattern, in a star pattern. So you do one up top, then on the bottom, then come back here, then to the left, back to the right, and that's how you're gonna go. Okay, and first we're gonna hand tighten them, then we'll torque them down. Okay, next we're gonna torque these down, and the torque spec for these bolts is 33 foot-pounds. Okay, next we put this shield back on. Okay, I need to make a correction. The torque spec for these triple square M10 bolts are 52 foot-pounds, but if they are M8, it's going to be 30 foot-pounds. Okay, next, in order to torque down our axle bolts, we need to get the wheel on and tighten it down, and then get the car on the ground. Okay? Okay, and the torque spec for our axle bolt is 140 foot-pounds, and then 180-degree turn. Okay, so first we're going to get it to 140 foot-pounds. Okay, next we'll do our 180 degrees, which means basically from this angle, going one complete half a turn to this side. Okay, I'm going to start with my pry bar, and then I'm going to start using the pipe over this. Okay, and that's all there is to it. Hope you liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe if you want to see more like it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.